Yeah, course 1 of 9. And we're talking about the 5 level niche method because this is the foundation of where you start. If you want to properly set a foundation that will help you sell your knowledge and sell it as much as you want in whatever format, whether it is a video course, an ebook, a coaching program, a mentorship program, membership community. It does not, the format of the product that you want to create does not matter as much as you creating the perfect positioning, because positioning is what determines how you are able to reach people and get them to take the action that you want them to take. That is why we are starting with the 5 level niche method, because I will be showing you how to go from, oh, I'm very experienced, I have expertise, to I know exactly who I serve and what I coach on. Oftentimes you think you know, but you have not properly distilled and presented it the right way. That may be the reason you're struggling right now if you already coach. And if you have not started, and you're just about to start, you're looking for how to make sense of all the jumbled information inside your head, well, welcome to the 9 for 9 bundle, because you will get clarity here. All right. Before we start, let me tell you about Dr. Simeon, who is a student. He went through my programs and he's a medical doctor with over 20 years of experience. He has been doing this for gargantuan years. Anyway, his real gift was helping people carry emotional weight, you know, people that are struggling with emotional problems. He has been doing it for 20 years. In fact, before he came to me, he already had testimonials and stories of people he had helped through his organization. He calls it the Society for Positive Living. You know, he mentioned over 100 people that he had helped. But the thing about the people he had helped is he was not charging them for anything. He did all of this for free. There is nothing wrong in you wanting to help people, especially look at the niche is trying to save. There is nothing wrong in you wanting to help people and, giving them value and all of that. But there will come a time where you really want to monetize this. You want to attach payments to it. And you know that asking people to pay does not remove anything from the value that you're going to give to them. It just means that you turn this into a structured business where you're still able to help them, but at the same time, you're getting paid for it. Now, Dr. Simeon was making $0 from this knowledge that he was helping people with, not because he was not good enough. See all the results that he got, by helping people for free. It is because he lacked the proper packaging. He did not package this knowledge as a knowledge that people will want to pay for. And when he came into I run a 3 days expert to coach challenge. I call it expert to coach challenge. And, we've done about 22 cohorts so far. I encourage you to find yourself in any of the upcoming cohorts so that we can, because it's a practical and implementation workshops where you work with me in real time, live. And when he came in, what I'm teaching you in this part of the 9 for 9 bundle is exactly how he got the positioning that turned everything around for him. He came in saying, oh, I'm an emotional resilience coaching. I run coaching services for Nigerian adults battling with depression, addiction, financial. In fact, this is just a short form of what he gave me, because it was mentioning a lot of things. I help people with this, I help people with this, I help people with that. A lot of these things. And if you look at this, this part in red, it really sounds good. It sounds gang, in my opinion. It sounds again, but you see, that's the mistake that a lot of new coaches make. You think that you have to sound gang. You know what I mean? that you have to sound really, packaged, even if people don't understand what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, when people think about it, when it is not delivered to them in a very simple format that their brain can immediately absorb, you will lose them. That is a marketing fact. Now, let us break this down. Nigerian adults, for example, that's not even 100 million. That is at least 100 million people, maybe more. But again, who specifically is Dr. Simeon speaking to? When he now says people with depression, people with addiction, people with financial stress, people with hopelessness, those are four completely different problems. They are four completely different problems that requires different solutions. Now, someone that is struggling with addiction needs a different conversation from someone going through financial stress. And if you're a therapist here, you will agree with me that this is true. The way you will handle hopelessness is different from how you will handle financial stress when you're trying to look for a solution to these problems for your people. Now, when you are trying to address all of these four problems, even though you have the capacity to do it, you have the capacity to address it, but in one positioning, in one message that you are sending out to your audience, you are addressing all of those people. It means that your message will be diluted. It will not be speaking directly to this one person. I call them your one ideal client that is listening to you right now and wants to feel like, oh, this coach really sees me. This coach knows what I need. This coach understands what I am going through. Now, again, depression is a clinical diagnosis. Before people identify as depressed, they have passed through different levels. In fact, maybe some of these things, financial stress, hopelessness, maybe even addiction, or other, things that Dr. Simeon mentioned that, he helped people with. This language, because when your language is too vague and general, people will just hear it and say, oh, nice. And then they leave because they don't feel seen by you because of your messaging. Now, when he worked with me, if you have read the positioning playbook, I'm sure you have seen a thoroughly, I'm sure you have seen the story of Dr. Simeon in that book, where we broke it down thoroughly and you saw all of the interactions and all of that. At the end of the work that I did with him, we arrived at emotional strength and clarity coaching for mid-level Nigerian professionals struggling with burnout and life direction. Now, how is this different from what he had before? Even though he's using the same expertise and it's still the same passion he had earlier. It is still the same passion. The passion did not change. But a completely different business, yes. Because he went from Nigerian adults speaking to everybody in his country, in his home country, to mid-level professionals, who are like a major portion of his audience, who really needs his service right now and can afford to pay for it. There are people who are employed. They have disposable income that they can give to this kind of knowledge. And they feel the real pressure right now. I call it an urgent problem that is hooking. So I say your audience must have an urgent problem that is currently hooking them in the truth. Because that is when they will see the need to take action right away. Dr. Simeon also went from saying depression to, okay, people going through burnout and life direction. They don't understand what is going on in their life right now. Those are some of the things that would usually push people to depression, right? But we don't want any clinical diagnosis here because Dr. Simeon is presenting as a coach, not as a therapist. People would not usually say I'm depressed. They will express what they want. And you see, this is an introduction to this video, and I think I may be spending too long in this video. So I'm going to move a bit fast because I just want you to understand. I am starting with this story because I want you to have a good understanding of what I say when I say them about you breaking down your niche and ensuring that you position in a way that people truly hear you and feel seen by you. Because after Dr. Simeon did this, within 6 months, he started getting sales immediately. But the last time I spoke with him a few weeks ago, I realized Dr. Simeon was saying in a day, he gets up to 10 to 15 booked calls. And I'm not talking about free calls, paid. People pay every day, 10 to 15. I'm going to drop the video under here so that you can watch it. 10 to 15 people pay him. But he can only take about 6 calls a day. So he has a calendar with queues of people that have paid to come and get help from him. It's as simple as getting the right positioning. Now let's go to the framework. This is where we are actually going. And there is a reason most experts say stay invisible. I will show you the 5-level system that you need to apply, and it will fix it for you in one sitting. Now, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that in the entire knowledge and coaching industry, there are only 3 categories. People misunderstand this, and when you say, oh, what category? I say, what do people, people say a lot. You mention your industry instead of the category, and it shouldn't be so, because we have only 3 categories. We have the health, we have the wealth, and the relationships. Now, if you are not sure which one you fall under here, let me explain how you will know which one you fall under. The first thing that is the most important thing to know where you fall under is that it is not about you or your industry. That's where most people make the mistake. They think that because, for example, because Dr. Simeon is a doctor, it means that he is under health. Now, I'm not saying Dr. Simeon isn't under health, but I'm saying it does not automatically mean that he is under health just because he's a medical doctor. That will be his industry, not his category when it comes to the knowledge he's pushing out. Now, how do you understand which category you fall into? By the end goal of your audience. That is why you need to understand who your target audience is and what their problem exactly is. Like, what is it that they want to feel like you see them? For what reason? When you know that, that's a powerful thing to know, because then you will then ask yourself, what is the end goal of the person that is coming to me for help? What's the reason they are coming to me for help? Now, how do you know what that worth is? What it is by asking yourself why 3 times. And that is the formula that I'm giving you here in this video. So the first question you will ask is, why does someone want this? So my one ideal client, why will this person want what I want to give them as a knowledge product? After they have answered, or you answer it yourself and say, this is the reason, you then ask again, based on that reason you give, you then say, why do they want this thing that they want? And then you answer it, the reason they want this thing that they want. When you now answer that one, again, you go to the 3rd level, because that is where you finally have the clearest form of clarity, where you then ask again, why do they want this thing that they want? Because they want that first thing. Why? Because by the time you break down the why, you realize that you may think, for example, Dr. Simeon falls under health, and he may fall under wealth, for example. Maybe the person that is coming to him for life direction is coming. You say, why does someone want this? You say, or because they are currently confused, or they currently feel stagnant at work, they are not growing and moving, and they feel stuck, and they want clarity. And then you ask yourself the second why. Why do they need clarity? They need clarity because they want to know the next steps to take, so that they can move out of that stuck position. And then you ask the third why. Why do they need clarity, or why do they need to move out of that stuck position? Maybe it is because so that they can earn more money, or so that they can have fulfillment, or so that they can, do better things. You be specific with the reason. When you're specific with the reason, with this example I just gave now, you can say, oh, Dr. Simeon is under wealth because at the end of the day, even though emotional resilience, all of these things sounds like it is emotional health now. Yes, but what is the end goal of the person? Because at the end of the day, you as the expert, you are the one that knows that this person is, whatever I will do with this person is, I will work with their mindset, their emotional this. Those are your own technical expertise. They don't know. Your audience don't know all of these things. It's just a way. It's your own tool. What they know is where they want to get to, which is, I want to start making more money. I want to start being independent. I want to stop feeling this way. I want to be able to, move forward in life. Those are the things that how they get there, they don't really care. That's the thing. You are the one that cares. It is your tool. Those things, emotional wellness, this kit, that thing, all of those tools that you will use to get them to the result, they are your own tools. And you know them because you are the expert. They don't know. They don't know. You are the one that knows all of these things. But a lot of you will carry all of this and be putting it out there, and people don't resonate with it because they don't have that level of expertise that you have. So apply this to whatever it is you are doing right now or that you're trying to do, and ask yourself, where do I belong to? Health, wealth, or relationships? I have given you the formula already. Now, this is an example. This is somebody that says, oh, I am in the health category, health coach. That's, I said 5-level niche method. This is the 5-level niche method. Level 1, health coach. Here you will find 1 million+ competitors. Level 2, weight loss coach. Level 3, this person, which is level 3, which is the specific problem you're solving for those people. And then this person says post-pregnancy weight loss. You're getting there. But this is where most people stop, at level 3. No. This is where you should just be beginning. Because at level 4, you don't realize if you've gone through the right processes, you now know your method. The method you will use to take them from point A to point B. Whatever it is, you put it down. For this person, it is 15 minutes home workout. And then at level 5, you define your specific target audience based on your authority formula. Now, don't miss these videos, because I think video 3 is the authority formula, where I will show you how to break down your authority formula so that you will then also be able to apply it on this 5-level niche. Target audience. 15 minutes workouts for busy working moms. These busy working moms, you should not just pick any audience out there, because again, your positioning will be wrong if you just pick any type of audience. The audience you pick needs to confirm your authority by applying the authority formula. So make sure you watch the authority formula video to really understand what I mean here. And this is where you don't have a lot of competitors. This is where your positioning is very clear. This is where people actually see what solves their problem. Because if you ask me, oh, do I want to lose weight? Let me use myself as an example. Oh, yes, I want to be a size 0, just be like this. I don't want to be a size 0. I'm just saying that's some people's. Now, if I were that person, that's my desire. I want to lose weight, right? But everybody is saying that. How do I know which one exactly can help me based on my own unique situation? My unique situation is I can hardly have 30 minutes in a day for myself because I'm so busy with so many things. How do I get time to actually do the workouts that I'm supposed to do that will be effective and make me lose weight? But you are saying that based on your authority formula and what you know and you have results in, you have specially curated 15-minute workouts that can help me. That's what I want to buy. Because you are solving the problem. The problem I have is not that I have fats that I want to lose or weight that I want to. That's not the problem that I have, actually. That's the real problem that I have is that I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do 3 hours workout just because I want to lose weight. That's the real problem. Now, the person that is solving the real problem is the person that will sell, not the person solving the surface problem, level 2 problem. Can you see? Weight loss coach, that's level 2 problem that has no authority formula applied to it. Level 5 problem is, you mean just 15 minutes every day? I'm going to lose this weight? Sign me up. And that's it. Now, I have walked you through the, example again, so I'm just going to bypass this slide. This thing that I just shared with you, most people will push back and say, but Mayowa, if I get that specific, won't I be leaving people out? Will I not shrink my market? How many people will now remain in my audience? Especially if I have to, just push niche down like that. Is the most common objection that I hear. Every time I hear people say this. But again, what I am teaching you here are facts that I have applied on hundreds of students. I say hundreds of students because I have hundreds of testimonials. But I have taught thousands of people this method. Some people don't come to me with testimonials, but they are doing really well. Some people come to me months later and say, oh, coach, I forgot to tell you. This is because, I've helped a lot of people. So I'm telling you that based on the fact that I have applied this over and over and over to many people, that is why I am telling you that specificity doesn't shrink your market. It will make the right people find you faster. People will think this is exactly what I need when they hear you with your level 5 niche. If you're a generalist, you will compete on price. But as a specialist, you will name any price that you want to name. This is Dr. Simeon's walkthrough. Health, mental, emotional health, depression and emotional crisis, resilience and clarity coaching, mid-level Nigerian professionals struggling with burnout and life direction. Now, let me tell you something again that I should note out is that two coaches can have the same idea, be doing the same thing, and be under this different category. Remember how I described Dr. Simeon's breakdown before we got to this slide, where I said it can fall under wealth. You may rewind this video so that you can listen to that part again, and then you will understand that it is the end goal, just like I explained, because the end goal of Dr. Simeon's help with these people was this. Unlike if the end goal was, so depends on you. What is the end goal that you are giving to your audience that they also want? That end goal is very important. Now, let me explain. The audience changed. The language changed from clinical to exactly what people are facing right now, burnout and life direction. That's coaching language. That is language that is not expertise. If you infuse your expertise into your messaging, your marketing messaging, whereas your audience does not have this expertise, they will find it difficult to understand what you're saying. Or they will find it difficult to see themselves in what you're doing. And this is how he was able to create a structured offer, which we'll talk about later in another video, out of his niche. Now, another example is Leslie. Leslie Sampson is also a story in the playbook. If you've not read the playbook, you quickly need to go back and read that positioning playbook that I gave for free. Leslie is a PMP certified product manager. She had also spent 4 years running a parenting brand. She calls it Lit Lamps. You'll find her on Instagram. And she had been doing it, but not structured. She had not been charging for it. She'd been, doing it for free because she was passionate about it. And because of that, she was tired of it because people were not paying and all of that. And she decided she was going to move to something new, right? And then instead of continuing to build the parenting brand she had been building, because she felt like, I've been doing this for 4 years, nothing was coming out of it. She decided to move to something else and say she wanted to help women in transition, because she felt like, I also have the expertise to help people women leaders that want to transition from one thing to another. She was not clear because, again, women in transition could be different things. What are you transiting from? But for her, that was it. And when she came, we applied the authority formula. Again, I am mentioning that video because it is very important for you to go into that video and also watch it. How to raise how did she arrive at how to raise self-disciplined children, even if you've been parenting without a plan? For Christian millennial moms, it is because she applied the level 1 to level 5 breakdown that we just did. She had the expertise, she had the authority. She just didn't know how to apply the structure. And our first outing, very first outing that Leslie had, she made 1.5 million naira. That is about $1,200 for someone who had been doing it for 4 years without making anything. Don't you think that is great? So there's a pattern here. Dr. Simeon didn't have to get a new certification. For you if you are here and you are thinking, I need to get a certification before I can become a coach. No, you need lived experience. You need your authority formula. That's what will tell you if you are ready to be a coach or not any certification. I promise you. And Leslie didn't have to build something new. She just repositioned what she already had, using our authority formula and our expertise and experience, combining everything together to actually structure what she has. Don't stay at level 2 or level 3, because that's where most people stay, and that is why most people struggle. Make sure you niche down to level 5. It is the single most important thing that you can do before you continue building anything. Now it's your turn to think. I've been talking in this video. Now you have to answer 3 questions. The first one is, which of these 3 categories does your expertise fall under? Answer. Do the work. Health, wealth, or relationship. I already told you how you're going to do it. What level of specificity are you currently at? Don't stay at level 2 or 3. Can you name the specific type of person who needs what you already give out? What you know? What people come to you for? Don't say all the people that, no. Don't say everyone who struggles with, no. Who specifically? Answer those questions, do the work, sit down and do the work, right? And ensure that you break down the level 1 to 5. Don't forget that we are starting our sprint challenge soon. If we've not started already, And what qualifies you for the sprint challenge is that, so this buying this course qualifies you for the sprint challenge. There is a free question and answer session with me only if you submit you submit the answers, to these questions, and you do whatever is being said by, that the community manager says you should do in the group. You get access to this live question and answer with me. I hope that you'll be there so that I can give you more clarity and answer any question that you have. All right, I'll see you in the next video.